I worry that I might have put it onto the BRB screen by accident. I also need to change this music because we're not in starting soon anymore. Hello everyone, to people just joining, to everyone who have been waiting, to everyone watching things back on the VOD, whether it's here on Twitch or on YouTube, depending on when you're watching this. Hello, welcome to another stream, and welcome back to Game Dev Sunday. So we got like a fair little bit done last week. There were some things we adjusted, some things we improved. We adjusted ladders, we adjusted some other things as well. Last week I did make a packaged build for testing purposes to try and see what was going on with the pausing and stuff, because if you can recall, pausing the project on the odd occasion would cause the engine to crash, and I wanted to see if this was just, you know, isolated to the editor and wouldn't happen whilst I'm, you know, doing stuff in like an actual build. Apparently that wasn't the case. It also crashes in the build, so I do not know what the hell has happened. I know I need to look at the crash logs for some things as well. So sorry, just a moment. Hi, hi, Heater. For people watching back, and also people who also may be here, for context, I have hot chocolate again, as per usual with, you know, things being cold. And I decided, because normally it doesn't take too long for the hot chocolate to cool down. So what I did was I heated it for a bit longer than I usually would. Normally I heat it for about 2 or 3 minutes or so. I decided to heat it for about 6 minutes. And for some reason, I don't know what happened while I was just checking on stuff, but for some reason, it exploded in the microwave. The milk just exploded in the microwave. Like, I've cleaned things up, I've wiped things, but I don't know what happened. But then again, I don't normally do it as you and Luna describe Heater. Normally, I just throw it in the microwave and let it just go for the entire time. And that's about it. But yeah, so, in terms of today, to be fair, that's how I've always done it, and I've never really had too many problems with that before. It's just this one occasion where it just explodes. I just didn't know that it would happen. Milk is denser, you should be stirring it part way anyway. Okay. But yeah, in terms of what I want to get done today, there's one thing I do want to test, but that does require making another class kind of in relation with the player, but at the same time, it's not, I guess. This is just going to require setting up a whole bunch of other stuff. So, in public, and I don't know if I'm going to make this in its own folder. I might make it in its own different folder. So, new class, we're gonna, and it's not in the default. It helps the heat get through. Oh, okay. Oh, wait, so probably because I wasn't stirring it, the heat's not, you know, being dispersed properly. It's being all sort of, like, concentrated at, like, a single point. And because of that, it just exploded, it did. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, so the thing that I'm wanting to test out, and you know what, before I do this, I'm gonna, you know, go give a little rundown for people again who either don't remember or may not know if they're joining, like, either watching things back or just joining live for the first time. So, at some point last year, a few months after I started working on this project, I got into the kick of wanting to learn how to model, like, characters in Blender because I wanted to make, like, a PS1 style character model. And if you can remember, that was this rat character right here. So this rat character with the skeletal mesh, which I also rigged as well. It is fully rigged. This character is fully rigged. I did rig the skeleton in Blender before I, you know, ported it over. So in terms of what it has for, like, skeletal structure, it has essentially what's needed to be able to animate properly. However, the problem that I never sorted out was I never, like, did the UV unwrapping. I never made, like, textures and stuff for it. So at the moment, it's just kind of, like, plain and white. I'm going to solve that eventually. Maybe I'll do it on stream. Maybe I'll do it, like, as a little side thing off stream. I don't know. Who knows? But what I do want to try out today is, rather than using, you know, the Unreal mannequin that we've been using this entire time, I do want to give, you know, trying to use this model that I have rigged and animated, you know, a go. And you may be wondering, because at the moment, we're just using, like, the Unreal, like, mannequin and stuff. And if you remember, it has, like, this animation and the jump animation. I also might have my controller... Where is my controller? No, apparently... That was weird. No, it's not. Right, cool. So, like, we have, like, the standard, like, idle animation and stuff. We have, like, the walking / like, running and whatnot. And we have the jump and everything. And at the moment, they're only, like, able to work with this character, with this model, because they are tailored for that character's skeleton in particular. There is a way that we can retarget things so that we can have it work with our little rat guy. And I know that eventually I do want to like, make specific animations for the rat character, because I don't want to just use Unreal's animations, because in terms of the style that we're going for like a PS1 style game, this isn't really what I would want. So, holy shit, I loaded Fortnite, forgot I had Master Chief. You really did forget, you haven't been on Fortnite for a while. So, yeah, that's funny. There we go. But yeah, retargeting is basically the name of the game. However, I need to quickly look through my phone, because I can't exactly remember if I have, like, it's probably from months ago. Hold on. I probably don't remember anything about how to do it. Because I don't remember the last time I had to do this for, like, a tutorial or a project or something. So, let me think. If it exists on my phone, then I could just read from there. Oh god, I forgot about the time. I'm not going to share what I found on my phone's camera roll. It's a bit of a silly, goofy thing. Okay, I definitely don't think it was then. It might be... Oh, gosh. I really can't remember the last time I did... You know what? I'm going to have to quickly open up another project, so I'm going to go into the code. I'm going to pop the code there. I'm going to go into, like, Epic Games Launcher. Sorry, this is going to take a little bit of a moment, because I can't remember how to Here's the thing, I don't retarget animations in Unreal often, so when I have to do it, I always have to look back at a thing where I've done it before, because I really seriously can't remember how I did it before, if that makes sense. So, I also may as well close the prototype project as well, because it will otherwise make this a bit difficult to load. But yeah, I've been wanting to do this for a little while, but I guess, like, oh, I don't have, like, animations, or, oh, I don't have, or specific animations, or, oh, I haven't, you know, done the texturing and stuff for this model. It would look kind of weird if, like, this, like, white, you know, detailless sort of creature running around, but it's for the sake of making sure things work with this model at the very least. Because since rigging it back then, I haven't tested it with anything at all. And I would very much like to know if what I did back then actually made something that works, or if it made something visually terrifying. But again, as I said, we'll find out. We'll find out. And it shouldn't take so long, but... hot chocolate's still hot. Cool. I mean, that's what I expect. Also, in terms of stuff that I want to try and do, that I have planned for the year, of course, one of the things I noted down for one of my little sort of things that I want to try and do this year is, like, more game jams. I want to be able to take part in them more, because I normally take part in them very avidly, but however, last year, because of circumstances, I wasn't really able to take part in many game jams. There was a lot that I was dealing with during 2024, which kind of made it difficult for me, which is understandable. But you wanna join me? Brother is going to drag me into his yaoi as an accomplice. It's gonna happen. But yeah, in terms of jams that are this month, there is the Global Game Jam.
I'm really feeling it.
I do not know if that's a bot or a... I'm not sure. I mean, that's 100, but I'm scared. I do get paranoid. Global Game Jam is one of them. And I know that the Pirate Software Jam is also later this month. And here's the thing, like, I've wanted to take part in the Pirate Software Jam before. However, looking back, I know there were details about, like, oh, you need to make sure that the game is playable in the browser, and I thought, oh shit, Unreal Engine 5, you can't play in a browser. What the hell am I supposed to do here? And I'm also going to quickly look at my, so IK rigs. Okay, that's the wrong one. Come on. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, now I remember. So... also, I'm doing this quick kind of off-screen so I don't, like, bog things down a little bit. Also, I can tell this is one of the projects that I have stored on my, HDD because it's taking an awful long time to load everything. So... it's all about the retarget chains. I look at... so So retarget root is the pelvis. And I'm going to take a couple of pictures of stuffs to make sure that I can actually remember what it is I need to actually target. Cool. Where do I find the IK rig for the mannequin? Oh, yep, there it is. I also realized that the Midday Garden theme does kind of just have a very short loop. And I like how chill it is, but at the same time, it's kind of... eh. So I wish I could tell. Something in my paranoia. Hold on here, I'm going to message you. Sorry, just a moment. Okay, there we go. Because I can... There's the feeling that I can instantly tell that they probably are or aren't a bot. Maybe it's my paranoia, but I just got the strong feeling, because they also followed me on Twitter, and it very much looked like, you know, like very bot-heavy posts kind of stuff. So... which is why I did that. So...
I'm really feeling it.
Irish Journal Games. Oh, hello. Thank you for the follow. Right. So... Let me think. Is there anything else that I needed to grab from this other project in terms of, like, guidance before? I don't think there is. So I think I can thankfully just close that other project and then compile and get the, you know, the actual project built again. This shouldn't take so long. There we go. And now it shouldn't be long before this is all set, compiled, and now I can actually try and get on with some of the main parts of this. It'll be nice to see if things do indeed work. So, right. First things first, I need to make an IK rig for both my model and also I don't know if the Quinn mesh has I don't think it does have also welcome. I don't think it does have an IK rig by default, so I'm gonna have to make one for both the Quinn mesh, but also one for my little model. So it's I cannot remember this. It's been a long time since I've even had to bother with this kind of... Oh, retargeting. Yep, there it goes. IK rig. IKR underscore rat plat. Because at the moment, this model is just called rat plat. So, also, the hot chocolate's finally settling to the point where it's just slowly cooling down. There we go. Cool. Okay, so let's see. In terms of all the bones and okay, this isn't right. Previous schedule. I might have forgotten to do a thing. Hold on. Right, delete this. Right, animation, retarget. Oh, whoops. Asset actions. I swear it's right. Retargeting. I can't do anything when there's no skeleton being assigned to it. That's weird. No, I swear, normally it does this by default. That's so weird. Hold on. Let me think. On top of the details panel. Oh, okay. Let's see. So okay, that's not it. Whoops. Settings. Oh, that's why. I dragged it all the way up. No wonder I couldn't see things. Right, so oh, hello. Right. Okay, right. That's a lot more like it. Okay, cool. IK retargeting, retarget route. Set retarget route to the pelvis. And then I'm going to do this slowly because I need to follow the things that I took as reference for setting this up. So add new chain. It's just going to be called root. And then it's spine 1, spine 2. So this is just going to be the spine. I forget that. Wait. Hold on. Oh, I'll do it this way. We'll see what happens. I'm just kind of... Also, I apologize if I'm just kind of like a bit scatterbrained about this. I'm not so used to doing like the animation retargeting. I haven't... gosh. So, spine is spine 1, spine 2. Oh wait, whoops. That's not what I meant to do. So, neck and head end up as head. Most of this is kind of very, like, sort of... that is left arm. Like, very sort of standard, like, oh, we're just doing this kind of work. So... left bum, head chain. And then we're going to add the left hand. Oh wait, the arm is part of... oh, whoops. The hand is part of left arm. Whoopsie daisy. So upper arm, lower arm, and hand L are part of left arm. Whew. A chain. Oh wait. Okay, weird. That shouldn't have happened. I don't think I read part of the thing. So end bone. Okay, right. I think when I made the skeleton for this, I may have made an error in how some of the bones are paired up, which is kind of concerning. I'm gonna have to make left hand its own chain, which is not good. So... right. Navicle. Then upper arm, lower arm. Right arm, head chain. Right hand. We're going to have thigh. Then, whoop. Okay, there's definitely... so, add new chain. This is going to have to be left leg. Oh, yep, no, now I remember how this was done. And thigh R, calf R, that's right leg. This is going to be interesting. Right, I'm going to rename it to IKR underscore Raplat, as I had before I kind of got panicked over why things weren't working. And now I need to find where Quinn is. Mannequins, meshes. Yep. And I need to make an IKR for Quinn. Retargeting, IK rig, IKR underscore Quinn. And then set it to Quinn. And I can't remember if the engine just provides one by default, but I'm just gonna, you know, go off of things anyway. So set retarget route to pelvis. So this is the root. There's like 5 spine parts for this mesh. Then again, this never... Alright, it didn't... Right, we didn't go into... Right. Wait, actually, I don't need the head chain then. Odd. Okay, so clavicle... left clavicle... head chain... So upper arm L to hand L is left arm. And I'll do... I think to avoid confusion, I'm not gonna do like all the fingers, maybe. Just to avoid maybe some incompatibility. I'll see what happens with that. If not, then we can always adjust it. But we'll see what happens. Then new retarget chain. Right clavicle. Then upper arm R, lower arm R, hand R. It's going to be our right arm. We're going to do that, hide that. So phi R to bull R is going to be the right leg. And then phi L to bull L is going to be the left leg. Okay. That's those 2 bits done. Now I need to actually make a retargeting, or a retargeter, or I think it's just called a retargeter. We're going to go into here, we're going to go into animation, retargeting, or IK retargeter. So RTG underscore coin to rat. And now we go in here. We have the options for the source IK rig and the target IK rig. So those 2 things that we just made. The Quinn one will serve as our source. So IKR underscore Quinn. Here's Quinn. And our target will be IK rat plat. And then in terms of the target mesh offset, so I'm going to offset it over here so we can at the very least see the 2 side by side. And I wasn't entirely wrong when I was thinking, oh hey, like way back when, oh hey, the 2 models are basically the same like height as one another. They're not the same in terms of like thickness of limbs and stuff, but so I'm going to create a pose. I'm going to call this retarget pose. And this is simply just used for the purpose of making sure that things are lined up properly when you're retargeting. Because if you want to make sure that animations sort of like translate very well between one mesh to another, it's a good idea to make sure that things are kind of lined up so that things animate properly. So where is the... And this is very odd. how do I stop previewing? There we go. That's one. Edit retarget pose. Okay, so the thing you want to try and do... And I can't remember if I have to do this on the target side or the source side, but most likely the target side. What you really want to try and do is you want to try and edit things so that it's a bit more in line with the... Oh, boy. That doesn't look good. Or at the very least, try and edit it to make sure things look okay. I think this is where the lack of, like, a proper retarget chain for the hand kind of hampers things. Okay, I'm already looking from things. Yeah, not being able to include the hand in the retarget chains on the rat is definitely kind of a problem. So, in my opinion, I may need to, like, eventually, like, remake the animation skeleton back in Blender again, because otherwise... See, the thing is, it wouldn't be a problem if, like... So, say, for example, within the model for Quinn, if we go down into, say, the right arm, for example, we have the upper arm, we have the lower arm, and then still within the same hierarchy, we have the hand. And that's what makes it possible for the hand to be included within the retarget chain from upper arm to right hand, because it's, like, still, like, a child of the lower arm. In the rat plat model, by comparison, so we have clavicle, we have upper arm, we have lower arm. I don't know what went wrong when I was making the thing, or if it was because of where I set, like, the IK stuff in Blender, but the hand has ended up, like, not as a child of the lower arm, but has ended up as a child of the IK thing that I made. So as a result of that, I can't include it in the retarget chain for left arm, which kind of sucks. Because in order for a retarget chain to actually be made for things, it has to go, like, down within the hierarchy. It can't just, like, go down one in the hierarchy and then try and jump to a thing from a separate, like, layer. It doesn't work. So, I would need to find a way to adjust things so that this stuff here exists here rather than its own little separate thing. So my little plan to get, like, to test, like, the animations and stuff, at the very least, I was doing it for the sake of making sure things worked, and I found out that things didn't work. So that's the reason why we test to make sure things work. But it is kind of sad, because if it would have worked, I would have looked forward to at least, like, applying the animations for, like, the standard Unreal mannequin to the character for the time being, until I eventually made ones of my own. But as it stands, this skeleton, like, this animation skeleton for this model is not really what I want it to be, how I want it to work. So I will need to do that at some point, sadly. So that's kind of one plan that's kind of gone kaput. But sorry, in terms of, like, getting some small bits done, There's still some bits that I want to try and get set up for, you know, when we get to that eventually. Because at the moment, in terms of like how we're animating our standard mesh, if we go back into the blueprints, player, BP player, I made this as like a little thing for if we managed to get the animations to work, we would have started using this blueprint instead. But since it isn't working for the time being, we're still going to use our standard one. Oh, sorry about that, chat. Anyway, so in terms of how we're animating the player, at the moment, we're just using ABP Quinn, which by default is just included within the engine. Like, we have the event. I think this is... Yeah, ABP Manny is the parent for this animation blueprint class. So ABP Quinn inherits from ABP Manny, and in ABP Manny we have like the setup for like getting the character movement component, updating like animation based on like the movement component's velocity, getting their current acceleration, whether or not the player is currently falling or not, and then those values that are sort of set up here drive the animation within this thing, which is the animation, the anim graph. And like how you set up an anim graph and the state machines within that anim graph may vary depending on what you need your character to do or how much there is that you need your character to do. In this one, at the very least, for the locomotion, there's just the basic, you know, idle and then walk and run. So the idle animation and then walk and run, which is a blend space, but I'll get to that. This is then cached off as locomotion. So when we go into the main states, when it enters through here, locomotion is still like the main thing that sort of happens for the most part until when the player presses jump. I think that's a state alias. Yeah, that's a state alias. So it will move from locomotion to the to falling state alias, which is over here. And what it does depends on what exactly is happening to move into that state alias. And what that basically means is we're checking conditions from this on this branch and on this branch. On this branch, we're checking like if the player is falling, but also if their Z velocity is greater than 100. So if they're jumping, then we move here into jump, and it just plays the jump animation. And then in the like between the jump and the fall loop state, so this is just like the animation loop that plays when the player is falling. We're not like checking for a condition, it just automatically transitions to it based on like the remaining time of this animation, like this state node here. So when this animation ends, it will just automatically move to here. And then to move to the state alias for falling or to land, of course that means oh, the player's just gonna land in this case, and if they're no longer falling, it'll just play the landing animation and either wait. So we have an automatic rule, and then we also have whether or not the player should move. So if the player should move, and, you know, like, the landing animation has ended, then it just moves back into locomotion. It just moves back into the standard movement stuff. Which is cool and all, but I don't necessarily want to have to rely on the animation blueprint that the engine provides, simply because I know in a way it's still very customizable, but it's not too customizable, in my opinion. There are some things that, like, you want to be able to control from within code that the standard ABP can't do, and while you can just make a bog standard animation blueprint from scratch, do everything from there, an option that is also available, and it's an option that I really prefer because of, you know, the flexibility that you have, is making an animation blueprint based on an anim instance. And an anim instance is the base class for all animation blueprints. So what I was going to do before I decided to go into trying to make sure that the wrap model was working with everything, because, you know, my strongest moment of foresight to make sure that things were working before I got carried away with doing the thing before I made sure things were working. Is, well, I want to make an anim instance specifically for the player. I want to make an anim instance specifically for the player. And I will probably do the same thing for, like, basically as, like, a baseline for the enemy. So basically, like how I've structured things with the enemy, I am also going to have, like, a base enemy anim instance, and then for whatever specifics that we need enemies to do, then we can just sort of, like, make a specific class inheriting from that base enemy anim instance class, if that makes sense. So with that being said, I'm gonna make a new C++ class. I'm going to find the anim instance, and this was what I was going to do earlier before I did that thing. I'm going to make a new folder in the public section, and this is just going to be called animation. And this is going to be tp_player anim instance. And now I'm not going to recompile because, you know, why would I at this stage? I'm going to go back into Rider. That should... Yep, that should be updating there. So now I'm going to close everything else because at the moment I do not need things with the player state and the character interface and everything. Instead, I'm going to go into the animation folder, I'm going to open the H file, and then I'm going to go into the private animation folder, and I'm going to open the C++ file, and I'm also going to close the engine while I do this. Also going to look up some notes for when I implemented it this way in the past, because I need to refresh my memory. So, just a moment, I need to find a previous project where I did this. But I'm not going to open it up, I'm just going to open the code up in a notepad file so I can easily read it without having to load up, like, Visual Studio or Rider or anything like that. Right. Okay, cool. Found it. Notepad. That's one. And then Notepad. There is two. Cool. Right. So, like basically most other C++ classes, we have a H file, we have a C++ file, define the things here, implement them here, bish bash bosh, that's essentially kind of the same as usual, though you know what, I'm actually gonna go through things and get a sort of basic thing like implemented here, just because, rather than me getting lost in what I'm trying to do. So gonna define the constructor here. And then, oh, whoops. Right. So I'm going to get those three things there first. So define this, define that, and then define this last thing. This last thing is pretty important. I can't remember if I actually kept the super. I did not. So okay, sorry about that. Okay, so public section, protected, private. Whew, whew, Jesus, sorry about that. And then another public section for good measure. Why am I the sneezy today? No. Anyway, why did I? What? That was weird. Right, so I'm gonna go for declare class TP underscore, not ATP player character, just because. And I know I say I normally like to provide a layer of attachment between like classes and the player, but because I'd say this very heavily relies on a specific instance of or specific class in most cases, I'm just gonna opt for actually referring directly to the player in this instance. This is like one of the rare few cases where I'm actually going to do this. Also, ad break starts in about 2 minutes 20 seconds, and counting, chat. So just to let you know. Yep, now I remember. So it is U property, visible anywhere, blueprint read only. And then ATP underscore player character pointer player character. Now I can't remember. I think. Alright, I don't need to do anything here. Okay, so I'm not going to implement too much yet because I'm going to do this slowly. Just so people can understand, just for the people who like to follow along and listen to the funny magic words. Okay, so constructor is just basically the same as literally any other class. If there's any like things we need to create in terms of sub-objects or any values we want to set by default for when this thing is made and so on and so forth, then that goes here. This thing, we made it blueprint callable, and the reason why is because we're still going to make an animation, like a blueprint version of this anim instance, so we're going to still make it an animation blueprint. And any values that we want to sort of keep track of or update and so on and so forth, or have anything happen during like the tick time for this animation blueprint, we're just going to have it happen here. We're just going to have it update and track here. This happens right when the game starts, and the reason why this is important is because we're going to get the player that this thing is running on, and we're going to store it as a reference within that player character variable that we made here. And this is the most important part. This is the most important part. But I will explain more about that after the ad break ends. I'm going to do a thing quick, sort some stuff out, and I will be right back. Catch you in a few moments. I'll also throw the text up. Oh, wait, there we go. It was this screen. Welcome back, chat. Also, it's kind of funny. I know it's not Christmas anymore, but had an interesting thing show up on my Instagram, and it was a post. It was a post saying, "Is the Grinch his name, his ethnicity, or his job?" Because I don't know. I just don't know. But yeah, as I was saying beforehand, right, so in the native initialize animation, we're going to say player character equals cast, and we're going to cast it to this type. I'm going to say ATP underscore player character, and that will include it, or the H file up there. We're gonna call try get pawn owner, and it gets the pawn that owns or is currently running this anim instance or the anim BP when we make the anim BP, and it's gonna try and, you know, populate this variable with that reference, so with that pointer. So in terms of update animation properties, what happens here, as I said, every, like, during, like, the lifetime of the game when this character is active, it's going to sort of check for values that we're going to use to drive some of the animations, depending on what those are, or depending on what those are. But the important thing to check beforehand is whether or not the character, or the player character variable has been, is, valid. If it's not valid, if it's a null pointer, first we're gonna try again to see if we can set this variable to the pawn that owns this. So, and I know I could essentially just like have like a little method for this, but it's a singular line of code in both instances, so in some ways there's no point of having it be a method. So first, again, we're going to check and see if we can set player character to the pawn that owns this anim BP. Next, we're going to check if this is valid. So if this is a valid pointer, if it stores a valid pointer, if it's not null, then, do everything here. And what is everything in this case? Well, it depends. So in most cases, normally we would measure speed, velocity, etc., etc. And in some cases, depending on the game, and depending on if, like, you have the animation specifically for them, you would also check for whether or not the player is turning in place, because you would essentially play a turn in place animation that orients their body depending on how far they rotated. Because, in some games, you'll have, like, when you're moving the mouse around, you'll only rotate, like, the upper half of the body, and then the turn in place will just turn the lower half of the body to face, like, a given rotation based on whether or not they've met that threshold. Or when you're moving and you have essentially, like, little lean parts of your running animation, you're essentially just sort of, like, checking, oh, how far is the player leaning whilst they're moving? Like, are they moving left or right? Are they leaning left or right? And so on and so forth. And it just makes sure that we can actually sort of keep track of that if we need it. But in this game, we don't necessarily need that for this game. So that kind of stuff, for the most part, is very unnecessary. So yeah. Okay, so I'm going to quickly compile the code before moving on with anything, just to make sure this compiles properly. It should do, but you never know. That blueprint read-only should only be used on private members. I knew it. So I need to do meta equals allow private access equals true. I knew there was a reason why I used that uProperty specifier when I use blueprint read only, because it can only be read. It can only be read by the blueprint or via a blueprint if it's a public variable, or if a private member has been or if it's been allowed to access a private member using allow private access. So we use these basically in conjunction with one another to make sure that, you know, this is allowed to be accessed before it even tries to read it. Okay. So going back to way earlier, before I move on with anything else, and I'm sorry that I'm darting all over the place, I have different ideas sort of cropping up in my mind as, you know, I'm trying to go along with things. In terms of game jams and stuff, like, I've already outlined the main two that I want to take part in this year at the very least. Though the problem is that at the very least for the first Pirate Software Jam of the year, because I know they run it twice in... I know 4 runs it twice in 1 year. I know that these two are very close together this month. And the problem is that I didn't get to take part in the Global Game Jam last year, so I do want to take part in it. But at the same time, it likely means I have to skip out on the Pirate Software Jam, which kind of sucks. Though there's always another chance later on in the year. Another one that I want to give another go, because I did take part in it last year, and I did okay, though things could have been better. I do want to take part in the GMTK jam again, the Game Maker's Toolkit jam. I want to take part in that again as well. And as for any others, that will probably depend on, like, what I can find on itch.io, because in almost all cases, game jams are just hosted through itch.io, and either they're significant enough to, you know, like, have a lot of people sign up for them, or you need to go out of your way to find one that you may like or prefer a lot more than others. So, also, like, hold on a moment. I'm going to quickly go onto itch.io. I should be signed in. I am. I'm signed in. I'm going to look at jams. Let So there is... Okay, not sure... So upcoming this month is... Let me think. There's... Okay, aside from like the Global Game Jam and the Pirate Software Jam for this month, I'm not too sure about this month game jams in terms of what I'd be able to take part in. But it would be nice to find more, because at least having a plan for game jams to take part in this year would be pretty cool. Okay. Okay, my brain is trying to do a lot with this stuff. I would like to be able to take part in a lot more this year. I wish, and then again, I'd say I wish I could check out, like, jams a lot further ahead, but then again, not everyone's gonna have, like, a jam, like, locked in for, like, a specific time of year or a specific day of a certain month. But, you know what? It's not all terrible. At the very least, nothing feels as powerful as ending the Fortnite Festival set on the final count. That does sound fucking powerful. That sounds great. Anyway, that successfully compiled. Have 3 asset editors that were open, which was the AVP for Manny and Quinn, and the blueprint for the player when I was pointing his stuff out earlier. I'm going to close the one for Quinn, because that doesn't have the main implementation of the stuff for, like, those animations. But turn the length of the vector. Oh! It should move, then movement component is falling. Yeah. Right. Okay. So within Manny's, like, with Manny specifically, it gets the movement component, so it gets the setting this up, it gets the movement component, which I probably should add to the code as well, because I feel like that's a good practice. So we get the velocity from the movement component, we set it, but then we also get the length of both the XY components and set ground speed to that. And ground speed is used to drive movement. So basically, we've got some stuff to do. So we're going to go back into the code. And in terms of variables, we're going to go for... And I need to double check how I... Oh yeah, I still read this. So visible anywhere, blueprint read only. So I'm going to grab these two, and I'm going to throw this here, and I'm going to say float ground speed, because ground speed is good for that stuff. Same here, we're going to have an F vector, and it's going to be called velocity. And then we're going to have this here, we're going to have character... Is it a U character movement component? Yep, U character movement component. That's it, right. So, gonna forward declare this here. Class U character movement component. Right. U character movement component pointer. Character movement. Right. And then also in here, I need to make sure that if player character, then we say character movement equals player character get character movement. And that's just included within the character class by default, so we don't have to worry about that. And then we say in here, if player character, then we do the same thing here. And I know it's more than one line now, we really should put this into a method, but it's still like those few lines. So if player character and character movement, so do everything here. So measure speed, velocity, etc, etc. So velocity equals character movement get velocity, and then that properly defines the character movement component. No, it doesn't properly define it, it just properly includes it there. So velocity equals character movement velocity, so get the velocity from the character movement component, and then velocity get okay, so how do I get an XY F vector hold on. Right, so vector XY length UE5 super plus. Go back into the editor. Right, there's a thing I'm trying to work out. So, in the editor, oh, it's Kismet Math Library. Oh! Okay, right. I may have my... include Kismet Math Library. Oh. I think it's... isn't it included by default? I don't know. So U Kismet Math Library. No, it's not. Yep, there we go. V size XY. Ground speed equals U Kismet Math Library V size XY. Right. So it's a drastically different name in C++, but this essentially does the same thing as that blueprint node, where we're just getting the length along the X and Y axis. So we're getting like the movement along the ground, and you know, excluding like aerial movement, and we're just returning that length as ground speed. So that is pretty useful. Pretty good to know. I should also probably make a variable for whether or not the player has fallen, because that is very helpful for jumping and stuff. So, visible anywhere, blueprint, read only, meta equals allow, access equals true, and then bool, B is falling, and then B is falling equals character movement is falling. Cool. Right. Gonna close the editor. To be fair, I didn't... Although I looked at, like, the idle... Then again, I'm saying that. I'm thinking that, oh, I only looked at the idle animation when I was doing the retargeting. Surely things can't be that bad. But in my head, I also just realized, well, if the hands look like that when I'm trying to do the retarget poses, then surely it will look... I do want to satiate like a little morbid curiosity of mine. I do want to see how things look in motion, because I know it's going to be damn terrible. It's going to be very terrible, but I want to see what it looks like. I want to see what like things look like in motion with the animations, you know, without being properly set up. So I'm going to do that. So, build succeeded. So, that stuff is donezoed, savoed, and stuff like that. It should still exist. So if I go into characters, temp model, yep, the retarget still exists. I want to... Whereas there has to be a... Oh god, it looks horrible! The hand isn't moving properly, neither is the feet! Look at the foot! Look at the foot! Look at it stretch! Like everything... He looks cunty! No, he does as well. He looks... That is a sachet. That is... Like, go rats, lay. Oh, it looks horrible, but... Like, why does it do that? I just have to... I did wonder what... Yeah, I know. Wait, what does the jump look like? That's another wiggle. That's not doing the right thing at all, because I don't think I have the feet properly, Yeah, no, there's a lot. I was not disappointed. I'm glad you weren't disappointed. I'm glad you weren't disappointed. I did not include the feet. And also, the feet are not in the thing either. So, yeah, right. Notes I need to make. Where are my sticky notes? Oh, wait, whoops. Notes list. Still game dev stream. There we go. Open note. Right. So, oh yeah, adding contact damage is another thing that I need to do. I tried this. Oh yeah, no, now I remember. I tried adjusting the things for the wall sliding, but it did not work. And I'm going to try and do that again at some point, but not right now. In terms of... So... Model... Remake... Skeletal... Oh. Remake... Rig. So I need to re-rig this thing so that the feet and the hands are in the right places, because at the moment, things are not doing good. I also wonder if I should have included, like, stuff in the spine and the... Like, there is definitely something I've missed somewhere. Hold on, let me look at the stuff that I took on my phone earlier, because I need to... I did do a... Right, so add, chain, head, and then in Quinn, I need to add the head. So mannequins, meshes. Why did I think I didn't need it? That was so weird. So new retarget chain, head. I know it won't fix everything, but at the very least, the head should be included. And I want to see what happens now. Let's see. Walk forward. Oh, that's run forward. Whoops. Also, with how I made the model, I think I definitely need to rig the ears and the eyebrows and stuff, because the ears are not rigged. Which is kind of weird. I mean, I didn't think I'd need to rig the ears. I don't think the tail is included either. Or it's still part of it. I don't know. Floaty ears. Yep, very floaty ears. But yeah, no, point still stands. I need to sort this out. Point still stands. I need to remake the entire rig. I mean, maybe I could do that on stream, but I don't know. I'll think about it. But main thing, if we go back to game, go to blueprints, we go to... Oh. Music's changed. We'll continue watching. We'll go for Icy Peak. I like the stage's music. Okay, my attention's wandering. Let me think. It's... Oh yeah, now I remember. Player, I'm going to make animation blueprint. And I'm... No, to be fair, while I don't have, like, a definitive decision on things, I'm not gonna do, like, making the animation blueprint and whatnot yet. So, next thing that I want to try and work on, like, depending on how I feel, I don't know. Maybe today may be a shorter game dev stream, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I did want to try and, you know, get that shit set up with the doohickamajiggy, with the model. So, hold on. Because I can't remember the video that I used. Like, the video that I used gave me a very solid, like, rig, but as you could tell, So, like, this, it will still count as, like, doing game dev stuff. So, you know what? I may actually try and get it done on the stream. So, at the moment, I'm gonna go into the code. I'm gonna close the editor. Because in my head, I want to get this fixed. In my head, I want to get this fixed. Otherwise, it's going to bug me. Also, I find it hilarious, the last time that I opened Blender was when I was making thumbnails for the, for one of the death compilations for the Kingdom Hearts 2 Level 1 playthrough, and I was looking at a rip for Sora's Kingdom Hearts 2 model. But that's not what we're interested in right now. What we're interested in right now is the thingamajiggy. We made the armature here. Right. So the problem is... Right, so... Okay, no, I'm wrong. So the armature, if we go into... I can't remember how to make it... It's been so long, I can't even remember how to make it wireframe. Right, it's in modeling. We're in object mode. There we go. Wireframe. Cool. Like, I really didn't want to have to do this, but I'm gonna have to do it anyway. But yeah, this is what happened with the model. So, root, pelvis, right. I wonder if I could just adjust things manually like this. So foot, okay. So, root. We got this stuff here where the actual foot was made, and the foot is split up into two little separate bones from what I remember. This happens with the right foot as well. And then in the pelvis we've got... Fine. Right. This was the main problem. The main problem was hand not being... Can I... I don't think I can. I don't think I can manually, like reparent a bone. Relations... Parent... Oh wait, I can reparent it. So if I was to reparent this to lower arm L. And then I go into thumb and I retarget this, or set its parent to hand L. And for all intents and purposes, me making these changes could fuck everything up, and I would probably need to just reconstruct the entire armature, the whole rig, from just scratch it in general anyway. But, who knows? We're gonna see. Then we're gonna do the same with the right hand. So, we have hand R. And we're going to set its parent to lower arm R. And then we're going to set thumb R's parent to hand R. Right, so that's both of the arms sorted. And then we're going to set the foot's parents to where they need to be. So foot 1... I mean, foot 2 is already parented to foot 1. But we need to set foot 1's parent to, like, the calf on their respective leg. So, foot 1L needs to have its parent set to calf L. And then foot 1R needs to have its parent set to calf R. And for all intents and purposes, this should be sorted, I hope. I am hoping that I somehow haven't broken things. I don't know how to pose stuff. This doesn't... I'm bad. I'm bad. But... Right. Right, I'm going to close that. We're going to switch to the other screen. Going to export an FBX file. So select those, export an FBX file, limit to selected objects. So now I close Blender for now. And then we're going to see if this worked. Right, so we're going to reopen the project, because doing it this way is way quicker. Also, since watching Sonic 3 twice, over, like, since New Year, I had, I completely forgot what I was going to say. Right. I don't know if I need to re-import stuff. Let me think. Also, I need to go into the map, the test level, because I think, yeah, I placed the mesh here. I'm gonna get rid of that. Save the test level, so you know don't forget to save those. Then go into the third person map. Go into the third person map. And I know that I only put that model in here the one time. It's not in here anymore. That's good. So I don't know how, like, if I need to re-import an object or if I just need to get rid of what I have here and bring it in from that folder again. So let me think. Let's see. It's not here. Characters, temp model. I'm going to need to delete all of these. Just to be safe. And then I'm going to do this because I don't want people peeking at, you know, possible references to name in my folders and stuff. So, finding that. So, it was in Unity assets, Blender assets, learning. And then I believe I just drag it into here. Skeletal mesh, import mesh. Okay, right. I need to switch it back to the first screen because I've done that now. So that's sorted. We've re-imported this. However, I do need to assign that blank material to what was it called? Temp white. That was it. It was the temp white material. And that, of course, at the moment just still applies to everything. I know I am probably going to have to redo things again because I do not have the ears properly rigged to things. We'll have to see. So, once again, I'm going to have to make the IK rig and the retargeter for this model. But this won't take too long now that I remember things. So, animation, retargeting, IK rig. So IKR underscore wrapplat. Set the thing to wrapplat. Set the pelvis as the retarget root. Yep, and the hands and feet and stuff are where they need to be. That's good. That's much better. Okay, so add chain, root. Add spine. I don't know. I don't need head end. I just need neck and head. Head. Left. Clavicle. We're going to go hand. We're going to have left arm. We're going to have here, left thumb. Going to have this here. That's going to be right clavicle. So add chain. Have the right arm. And have right thumb. Let's say left leg here. And then here. Right leg. Right, and that's that IK rig all set up. Okay, so far so good. Now we just got to make the retargeter. So retargeting RTG underscore win to rat. So same as before, RTG Quinn to rat. Quinn is our source, and rat is our target. We're going to offset. Oh, whoops, wrong offset. Wrong offset. We'll offset it here so we can see them both like in isolation and everything, as usual. I'm going to create a new retarget pose, a custom retarget pose. Now, I don't know how things have gone this time around. It should be better. For all intents and purposes, it should be better. So, let's try looking at an idle animation. Okay, so far so good. Except the ears and the eyebrows, they're still not moving. Let's go walk forward. Okay, it's working! It looks a lot better than it did! Look at my little rat man go! Though I definitely do need to fix stuff that's going on with the ears and the eyebrows, and I don't think the eyes are having a problem. Yeah, no, the eyes aren't having a problem because they're just kind of like welded on there. So, like, you can't see it like this, but the eyes are there. They're just flat planes. So if I have the run forward, aside from the ears and the eyebrows, I think it could work, but just in case, I'm going to reopen Blender. Because we're so close. We're so close to having this look the way I want it to. So, wrap.blend. And we're back in Blender. Don't know why. So if we go into edit mode, cube, vertex groups. Right, I was just testing a thing that is mirrored. Right. So I did parent things, but for some reason... Whoops. I didn't mean to open Microsoft Edge. I probably... It may be a case that I do need to add bones to the skeleton. So, where's the armature? I can't remember how to add a bone. Right. How do I deselect? No, that's not it. There are things I have forgotten about making stuff in Blender. Right, I need to go into object mode. Select the armature, go into edit mode. There we go. Okay, Shift A. Oh, whoops. Okay, so also ad starts in a few minutes again, chat. I'm trying to remember. So I could do that, but how do I? How do I link to bones? Oh, right. So how to parent? Right. So mirror bone blender. So ear L or ear.L. How do I? Shift D. Oh wait, whoops. I'm in Opera, not in Blender. Can I get it to be the exact? Right. Ear.R. Okay. Oh, damn it. It's been a few minutes already. It's almost ad break time. How do I parent to a bone again? So, parent to a bone. So, parent bone to bone. Select your bone. Select the bone and its future parent. Control P. Keep offset. And then Control P. Keep offset. Right. That should be sorted, I hope. Ad break starting. I'm going to go sort some things out. I will not be too long. Just hang tight and I'll be right back. See you in a moment. Right, and we're back. Okay. I need to remove the sign. So, now that I've done that, I am probably going to have to, like, hide this again. I ain't doxing myself. Export. Wait, I should go back into object mode and select both the armature and the model. And then go export, FBX, selected object. So now hopefully, I mean, I'm gonna have to. It's kind of annoying because I just did all the the retargeting and stuff again, but I'm gonna have to delete the rig and stuff all over again because I redid the model and everything again just to add those bones so I could get the ears to properly move. I didn't rig the eyebrows. Oh well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The ears are my main concern. The ears are my main concern. Because that's bugging me immensely. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to drag in the FBX file into the project. Import all. Right, there we go. So again, go in, temp, white, got a skeleton, we've got everything where it needs to be. We now have bones for the ears, which are not important in any way. We're not going to do anything like with them specifically. They're just kind of there. So once again, we need to make an IK rig. And I'm sorry that this is like the longest meandering of me trying to get stuff done possible. It's just that I thought, oh, I'm going to get this done. Then it didn't look like it was going to get done, so I set up the small bits that we would use when it gets done. And then I decided, oh, we're just going to get this done, okay? So IKR underscore ratplat. Ratplat. There we go. So pelvis is retarget root. I wish I could just do like a little speed up thing, like, oh, here's what we've done earlier, but I can't. So, you know, add new chain, root, spine, head, clavicle, new chain, left arm, left bum. At the very least, with like tearing it down and redoing it over and over, it's kind of burning it into my mind a little bit more, hopefully. Hopefully I don't forget this sometime, like anytime soon, but there is always the chance. Right arm. Right bum. Right foot, or right, or left leg. Right leg. That's done. And then we make the retarget. So IK retargeter, RTG underscore Quinn to rat. And hopefully, because I know it was already looking okay the last time, but hopefully the ears should move with the head now. So Quinn, then to rat. And then we're going to use the idol as my little test for this for now. Okay, I don't think that worked with the ears. It still didn't. What do you mean it still didn't work? I swear to God. Anyway, at the very least, this does work. So I do want to get this set up, like, as a player to use. And luckily, we have this that we made earlier. So, at the moment, in this new version of, like, or in this BP Rat Player, I want to set it to no, like, animation blueprint. So it's just set to, like, the standard, like, T/A pose. And then I'm going to set it to rat plat, sort of the mesh for the rat plat, or the rat itself. Lad's a little big. We'll sort that out. But so now that we have like the mesh actually properly, you know, working and everything, we're gonna go make an animation blueprint. We're going to use the rat plat skeleton, and we're going to use TP player anim instance, and we have ABP underscore rat plat. It auto-saved! No! Why? That's so annoying. So ABP rat plan. Okay. So now we have an animation blueprint for the player, or for the rat. We have the anim graph. And one thing I didn't go over earlier when I was going through, like, Quinn or Manny's anim graph is that the end goal is to put whatever we're doing into this output pose here. And this is essentially, like, what is being played during the gameplay. Like, anything that happens beforehand is just pushed here. And then that will just be animated on the mesh. So that exists. We also have the event graph here. We have our method here, update animation properties. So as long as we're calling this, then what we need updating will, of course, be updated. So however, the one thing that we, of course, need to do is that we need to retarget animations as well. Like, it's all good, like, making sure that, oh, the retarget is working and everything. I'm not in the I'm in the IK rig, but you know what I mean. I'll close that, I'll keep those open, but we'll go to temp model, the RTG file, or the RTG, okay, that was weird. Wait, what is this stuff? Oh. So, at the moment, we have MF idle, MF1 run forward. And I thought what I did would work, but apparently it didn't with the ears, which is kind of sad. It should have worked though. We'll sort that out another time. But now I'm just glad that the main stuff is working. So we've got run forward. We've got T4. And we've got walk in place. Okay, so what we can do is, in this menu itself, we can select the animations that we want to retarget to our rat, and we can just retarget them, generate new animation assets, and they essentially have the same movements, except they're catered to, you know, the movements of this model. However, what we can do beforehand is, I mean, I need to create a new pose, custom retarget pose. I'm trying to remember, how do I stop? Oh, reset. Oh wait, no, that doesn't do anything. I swear, chain mapping, current reference. All right. Right, there we go. Edit retarget pose. Okay. So what we can do is we can adjust how like things are rotated. So if we wanted to try and line it up more with the source, then we can. So if I do this, so we go down to say 0. Oh wait, whoops. Oh wait. Ah, no, that's not what I meant. And then we go to upper arm, L, and then we set it to this. And if we wanted to, say, use the, like, the mannequin male walk forward, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Because that's weird. That's made things look weird. So, walk forward. Right, so we're still going to make a custom retarget pose. Stop playing the reference pose. We're going to edit the retarget pose, but we're going to edit the lower arm this time, see what happens there. And then we're going to say walk forward. Okay. So I do notice is when I try to edit like the actual like positioning or rotations of like any of the bones, for some reason with this model in particular, it deforms parts of it, which is kind of weird. It may be due to how like things are weighted, which I haven't probably done in like Blender, so like vertex weighting and whatnot, so I haven't done that. That's something that I need to do maybe at some point. But for all intents and purposes, I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm going to take the walk in place, the walk forward, the run forward, the land, the jump, the idle, and the fall loop, and I'm going to export them to We're going to go into game, animations. We're going to make another folder, retargeted. We're going to make another folder, player, and we're going to call them okay, and then we're going to export those animation assets to there. Oh god, oh god, oh, that's what the landing looks like? That's not good. Oh. It just leaves the ears and the eyebrows behind for some reason. It becomes like an earless gremlin. Ugh. Hmm. I don't know why this ended up like this. Ugh. I don't know why it's rotated like that. That's so weird. Hmm. We'll see what happens. Okay, so enough of me dawdling because I've been dawdling quite a bit, and yeah, and whatnot. Okay, right. So we're gonna need first. We're gonna need like a main state machine. So we're gonna make a new state machine. This is just gonna be called. I didn't get to rename it because it clicked into it automatically. Locomotion. I'm gonna cache this pose. cached locomotion. And at the moment, there's nothing here. So we're going to go into... And I'm going to be using Quinn's, or I'm going to be using Manny's ABP to guide me through this, because having this kind of set is weird. So... I also probably should have said, oh, should this move? So I'm going to go back into the code. We're going to sort this out quickly. Make sure things are saved within the editor. 6 things are unsaved. Those things are unsaved. Okay. Close the editor. Again, we're going to get... Okay, thank you. We're going to get this thingamajiggy. The ball should move. Oh, God damn it, I should have... I didn't look at what was needed there. I'm going to quickly build. Okay, quickly checking the thing, and then we'll get back to sorting that bit out. I can do this here within the code while I still have the editor open. Right. I should make a method for this. So we're gonna make a text method void set should move. And this will be called within the update animation properties. So we're going to call it here. Oh, whoopsie daisy. So set should move. I'm going to do that. And then in here, be character movement. I might be doing this a little bit wrong, right? So okay, hold on. So we got U Kismet Math Library. Oh, there we go. So equal, equal, vector, vector. So character movement. Get current acceleration. Boo! Ooh! Ghost. Hello. Bool. Acceleration. B. Acceleration. Acceleration. Not 0. Equals that stuff. And then bool. B. You disappeared for a bit. Sorry, that's fine. Ground speed active equals so B should move is equal to whether or not B acceleration not 0 and B ground speed active. This is so weird. Wait, what do you mean? What happened? Change my audio output from headphones to speakers. What happened? And Sonic Adventure 2 does not like... Oh! Explain how it doesn't like it. The music is playing, but I have no... Oh! No! It's so weird. That is very weird. No menu sounds, no pause, knowing... Oh. No. My power is fading and Yosha, no. So, B should move. Cool. So that's updated there. It is very strict. That is so weird. That's super weird. Okay, so now that that's sorted out, I'm going to close the engine. Bada bing, bada boom. And then going to reopen the engine, but we're going to recompile. We're going to sort this stuff out. Stuff is open again. Again, AVP Manny. Throw that there. And then game, blueprints, player, ABP there, ABP Raplat, So we're going to have idle. So we're going to need to add a state. So idle. And we just need the idle pose here. And then in ABP Mani, this is whenever should move is true, and this is when should move is false. So we're going to go back into locomotion. We're going to make another state. This will be walk/run. And we're going to add another state transition there, but we're going to say should move. And we're getting this from inside the C++ class. We're not getting it from anywhere else. Although, when you make... And then this is going to be not bool. So invert. So if not should move, then move back into idle. And then we have cache locomotion here. Then in the anim graph here, we have main states. So this is Mani's anim graph. So we have the locomotion, we have the landing. So state machine, I'm going to call this main states. We don't have a control rig set up for this thing, so we just link main states right into here. So we're going to have add state. This is just going to be called locomotion. And used cache pose cache locomotion. So we're just going to use this for here. And because in the anim graph main states is plugged into here. Oh, we didn't set the animation to loop. Whoops. So if we go into animations, targeted player, go to idle. We need to loop this. For loop needs to loop, of course. Walk forward needs to loop. Run forward needs to loop. Walk in place needs to loop as well. Of course. Land is very weird. I don't know why it's angled like that. So I need to set that to loop. So we need a state alias for to land. State land. And this is not falling. So not Boolean. Get is falling, so not is falling. Moves into the land state. And first we have the automatic rule. And then the other one is can move, I believe. The other one is, yeah, B, it should move. So in main states, the other one is should move. Cool. Coolio. Right, so back into main states. So that's 2 lands. We've got locomotion, got land. Jump and for loop. That should be able to... Right. So we need another state alias. This is called 2 falling. And then we have 2 paths. We have jump. Oh, we need to make it as a state. Whoops. Jump. And then we have fall loop. So we need to make another state. And I know I'm setting it up the same way as in Manny, but I may as well do this because I haven't done anything with state aliases before. I've always just like from within like a locomotion and main states kind of thing, transitioned directly from like what I was doing to the jump without using state aliases. So this is a different practice for me to use. So leave, yeah, jump and for loop. This is if it's falling and the velocity, the get z velocity dot z is greater than 100. So and Boolean. So we're checking if the player is falling here, and then also we're gonna get velocity. The splits, the struck pin is greater than 100. Yep, greater than 100. And there we have automatic rule. So once jump ends, we go into the falling loop. And then 2 fall loop is just, well, are they falling? We're not checking for anything else. We're just checking for whether or not they're falling. So if they're falling, that works. So locomotion and land. Cool. Right. So in jump, we do have the jump animation that we already have. So rat. Oh wait, that's land. So rat jump. Then we have the falling loop. We already have that set to loop animation, which is good. I thought a little bit ahead there. And I didn't put like an animation for the landing. Whoops. I still don't know why it does that. So I think that's set up. So, oh, whoops. So we have the jump animation set there. We have the falling loop set there. We have the landing loop there. However, what we haven't done is set up the actual blend space for, like, the locomotion. Right. So what we need to make is a animation. I need to double check with AVP Manny. Yep, it is a blend space. It is a 2D blend space. Okay, so to explain to people who don't know what a 2D blend space is, or a blend space in general, basically, to use 2D blend space as like a simple kind of demonstration, basically you can have like multiple like animations, normally like different forms of a similar movement along an axis, and you can play either between or fully into one or another or the other animations depending on like a value along that axis. So for example, we're going to make one for like our purposes. So animation, legacy, blend space 1D. I'm going to use the rat skeleton. So bs underscore walk rat walk run. And we have the horizontal axis. So the horizontal axis, we're going to call this speed, and we're going to have the minimum value be 0 and the maximum be not 500. And we're going to first throw in the walk in place right there. We're going to set it right at the start. We're going to set run forward. I don't know if there was like a run in place. There might have been a run in place. I'm not too sure. Okay, so why does my model want to run forward when it tries to play the animation? So, wait, hold on. So, why does it want to... Set that there. I didn't mean to set it to 50. I meant to set it to 500. And then walk forward can be set to... like maybe 300, 400, 300. Right, we'll set it to 300. But that shouldn't be... that's weird. So weird. Untickle. Okay, so I might be finding an issue. So oh, right. The room motion options become baked into the animations themselves. Oh, right. So there's some things that we may need to adjust. Again, but that's fine. So it's in Mani, it's mainly the run forward and walk forward. So I don't know. These things are kind of strange. So for all intents and purposes, we have the animation blueprint all set up aside from, you know, the blend space being slotted in. Get ground speed. We're going to get ground speed. We're going to plug it in here. We're going to set it there. And that should be all done and set. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it with the character, and I get the feeling that the animation is going to look a little bit off, a little bit jank. That will be fine. We're just testing things anyway, so game mode, temp game mode, and temporarily we're going to be setting it to BP Rat Player. Oh. Okay, one thing I forgot with the Rat Player, I forgot to set its animation blueprint. So, do remember, when you've made an animation blueprint, and you've fully set it up and everything, make sure that you go back to the character class that you're using, and you make sure that you're using the animation blueprint. So, in this case, ABP Rat Plat. Set it there. Okay, so the landing animation is a bit weird. Strange. Also, it's not animating. Hold on, let me... Okay, so something's definitely happening here. So, yeah, B should move. In the event graph, should move is set to this. So these are both true. Oh, it's not... Oh, wait. I did it wrong. I did it completely and horribly wrong. Not horribly wrong, but just a slight little error. We're going to quickly close the engine, because here I said equal, it's supposed to be not equal. vector, vector. So yeah, that was an oversight on my part. A mild oversight on my part. Okay. Oh, ad break's happening in about a minute and a half. Right. So that is open again. This should work this time. Oh yeah, no. The animation is just. That is weird. Why does it do that? That's so weird! What is going on? What is going on? And for some reason the landing animation is like flipped on its front. What happened with the retargeting? I am so confused. There's just so much confusion in me right now. God. Today's been an interesting day in terms of trying to get stuff done, because while I am getting it done, it's kind of... It's not working as intended. A break happening. Again, small little break, and I'll see you in a moment. And we're back. Okay. So, yeah, things are weird. I don't know what happened when I retargeted the animations. Because the other, like, the idol... Like, the idol animation and the jump animation ended up completely fine. But for some reason, the jump is very weird. And then the walk and the run just don't stay in place like they're supposed to. This looks so weird! It looks like some creature is just constantly running toward, like, away from or towards you, depending on how you're, like, how the character is faced towards the camera. Like, boogity boogity! Like, this is so strange. I don't know what happened. I need to look at the retargeting and see what... If there was, like, any, like, root motion settings that were... Right, so mannequins, animations, Manny... Right, so as far as I'm aware, there was no root motion, there was no root motion on anything. Okay, so mannequins, meshes... To be fair, it might be because... Hold on. Okay. Oop. I do not want the ice dancing song. I said I didn't want it! Okay. We'll go Fireworks Factory. I love this place. Right, we'll go back to the retargeting. And I want to see what happens if I retarget, you know, actually retarget one of Quinn's animations to the rat. So, run forward. So, rat. So, game, animations, retargeted, player. Right. Oh, so the same thing just happens. Root settings. Right, and then we'll try this again. We'll... Okay, I broke that entirely. What did I change? I'm gonna delete these. And we're gonna try this again. Add rat as a prefix. Okay, there we go. So it was to do with the settings that the setting here. So toggle retarget phases. Wait, I wonder if it was also to do with effect IK horizontal. I don't know. And the fact that I turned off blend to source. So I'm going to export this. Rat flat. So rat flat, run forward. Oh. Oh yeah, no, it's disabling that thing. Right. So now I know what was causing the problem within the retargeting. So we need to disable the root retarget phase. So I also want to see if this fixes the landing animation. Right, it does not. Okay, I just don't know what goes on with the landing animation. I doubt this will do anything, but we'll try with root enabled here. Nope, that didn't work. So why does it end up on its side? That's so strange. Right, so now I know what was happening with those. I can sort this out. So run forward. Okay, so now if I was to play the game, for some reason, right, if I was to jump right here and land, I just don't understand what happens with the player when they land here. That's so weird. Hmm. Alright, that's looking a little bit more like it. Okay. Right. Let me think. So, I don't understand what happens. Why does it not? This bugs me beyond comprehension. Like, immensely so. Brain. Yeah, I just really can't figure out what the hell's going on with this. Like, when I look at it in the retargeting, it looks completely fine, but for some reason, when I... There is... Oh, wait. If I go back into... mannequins... meshes... AKR... For some reason I called that neck instead of head. And although it aligns the exact same way, it's just kind of... Part of it's also aligning the thumb to the... Right, so I think on Quinn's rig, I need to sort out the thumb at the very least. So... chain, left thumb, and then the right thumb too. And I know it probably won't make much of a difference in general, but it's nice so that there's at least that little discrepancy cleared up a little bit. So right thumb, there's a right thumb now, and left thumb, there's a left thumb now. Probably doesn't make too much of a difference, but we'll see what happens if we do land and export and go to and it doesn't change. Okay. Let me see. Chain mapping. There's no way that I don't think I found a definitive fix. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe somehow I've sorted it. Gonna try exporting this again. Please? I was worth a try. I thought it would work. And again, it's using the default pose. We're gonna create a new pose. Custom retarget pose. Target chain. Where is... Oh, whoops. There is much my brain is trying to figure out. Right, temp model. So root is, of course, and retarget root is that. And pelvis is that. So for all intents and purposes, like, structure is the same, but... so much. Ah, right. Target root pelvis, source root pelvis. I have no idea what that any of that does, and I don't think I want to mess with it. I think I'm gonna call things here for today because I've been doing a lot of messing around with this stuff, and I'm not sure where to go from here with this. A lot of it is working. Like, we have like the character like animated and moving around and doing stuff, but there's just the landing animation which just proves to be so stubborn, and I have no idea why. And I don't know about like trying to make a landing animation of my own, but I don't know. I'd have to look into this thing. But anyway, to everyone who showed up and everyone watching things back on the VOD, whether it's here on Twitch or on YouTube, depending on when you're watching this, thank you ever so much for showing up to stream today. I really appreciate you being here. Next stream will of course be tomorrow, and we will be continuing The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. We've got some more stuff to be getting on with there, and I feel like there's some things that I need to like sort out, like properly prepping that game as well, because I feel like there may be one or two things I've been neglecting as I've been going forward, but who knows, just have to see, you know, what we get up to. But yeah, thank you ever so much. I really appreciate it, and as always, I will see you all again in the very next one.